want Italy as a culture to disappear. I think we have to have maintain the sort of reasonable cultural identity of the various countries. Or they simply will not be those countries.
So national cultures, national identities, nations are imaginary. Now, that's not to say that they are not also real, but just to stress that they are a social construction. And a national consciousness is a product of all sorts of social, cultural, and governmental forces. And the processes through which those forces act never stop working. The project of nationalism is never over. Cultures are always being negotiated. They are always evolving, changing. Those processes are actually particularly visible and interesting to discuss in the context of a country like Italy. Because what do we mean by Italian culture anyway? For much of its classical history, the word Italy was used to refer to what we now call Calabria. Italians began importing tomatoes in the 16th century, but it didn't become a staple of regional cuisine until the 19th century. There was no nation-state called Italy prior to 1861, and it didn't have its present-day borders until 1936. Italy is home to several distinct national cultures, which feature in many cases regional dialects that are so distinct from one another as to be mutually unintelligible, and therefore possibly better referred to as distinct languages. And so when Elon refers to Italian culture, we can fairly ask, which one? And in all likelihood, the answer is the one that supports white supremacy. Because Renaissance culture, classical culture, is very frequently leveraged to assert the supremacy of Europeans. Musk is not interested in protecting Italian culture so much as he is whiteness. He would rather see that culture die than change. And cultures are at least rhetorically and politically useful to his project, while real live cultures have a habit of escaping the borders that we draw around them, exceeding any one person's definition. And if there's any solace that we can take here, it's that the sort of nationalist projects that Musk is hinting at here, aimed at containing and constraining national identity and expression, have always eventually failed.